Okay, so my number 3 is from Ninja. This was one of the first fights where Scott is probably taking on numerous enemies all at the same time. I loved his entrance, comes in like Batman, jumping down straight into a back to front flip to kick the gun out of the guy's hand, and then goes on to disarm everyone else with a gun. What I like as well about this fight is it feels very close quarters. After he's took out the guys with a gun, he's then taken out all the other guys who've got their stick weapons. I love some of the slow motion. You have some of the classic Adkins aerial kicks. One bit I do love is when he slams one of the guys onto the wall. Reminds me a bit of the first fight in Hard Target, where Jean-Claude grabs the guy's head and just flings him into a post. Then you come to my favourite bit, which is the nod to the King, Bruce Lee, from Fist of Fury. So Scott's just circled by the enemies. The speed of the kicks, I love the sweep, especially the double kick on the last guy in the circle. The setting for this scene and the dialogue, yeah, they are a bit corny, but I feel that the scene is edited and shot with absolute perfection, and everything happens accurately and quickly, and that's the magic that I think Isaac Florentine can bring to the films, and this is why I feel it's an awesome fight.
Get up! Hit me. Come on, hit me. Again. Yeah, again!
Okay, so my number 2 will be the bar fight scene from the sequel to Ninja, which is Ninja Shadow of a Tear. So the first time I saw this scene, I had to definitely rewind it a good few times to just basically watch it again. It had so much replay value. I love how the fight starts off very hard hitting, slamming the guy's head into the bar, and then you've got a bit of a mixture of hand to hand, a few more kicks, and I love also how the fight sort of builds up and progressively gets better with each move in the fight. You've then got a flurry of kicks, traditional Scott Adkins kicks that he always does. I love the speed of them. You can see connections. You've also got this brilliant kick, which when I saw it, I was like, I need to watch that again, where he practically jumps off someone to hit another guy with a brilliant kick. And yeah, that was definitely a rewind moment. And then we're treated to a signature kick, which is the Guyver kick, but it's a little bit lower to the floor, and it looks wicked. And my favourite bit for this fight was the kick through the table. And when I first saw it, I was like, holy shit, I need to see that again. And yeah, brilliant. The end of the fight, I'd probably say some advice. If Boyka asks you to hit him, you don't hit him. That's my number 2. Okay, so my number 1, the reason for having this at number 1, many reasons. So you've got 2 of the best in the world martial artists in film. So you've got Marco and Scott. For me, there's a ridiculous amount of fights that Scott has got. And I was having to look through them and just see which one do I feel the first time I watched it, I was like, yeah, that is badass. And it's definitely this one. Reason I'd say is you've got a really big build up to this fight with Boyka and Dollar. And for me, the point of where the hype went up for this fight was the scene where Dollar walks in on Boyka, starts calling Boyka the champion of the toilets. And then Boyka responds with,
If I'm champion of the toilets, what does that make you when I kick the fucking shit out of you?
when I heard that, I knew shit was going down. Got me so pumped for the fight. I'm not going to go into too much detail breaking down the fight because the fight's that long. There's so much stuff to go over. So I'll just go over a few highlights from the fight that made this number 1 for me. You've got a lot of long, continuous shots without any cuts. And the amount of time that these guys had to do that in is just amazing. You've got the wide angle shots, which makes the fights look even better. You can just literally see everything. I love the timings of the slow motion. I think they're timed perfectly. both Scott and Marco get to shine in this fight. So Marco pulls off a lot of his signature moves and really shows off his style. And then obviously you've got Scott, who's the lead, has definitely got to show off and kick some ass. And you've got the classic flashbacks where Boyka's losing, and then flashbacks are coming in, and he comes up and he's ready for the fight, and he's gonna take Dollar down. The camera panning up to Boyka, where he's looking pissed, and then Dollar just going, "Bravo!" I love it, just love it. And then you've got the filthy leg break at the end. Obviously the budget for this film wasn't high, but I loved how they were ambitious and they just went in for it, and I loved it. The first time I seen it, I was like, oh, that looks horrible. And everyone else that I showed it to was just like, just looks horrible, and it looks wicked as well at the same time. And the final point for me is the connection to number 2, and with Scott finishing off the fight, just pointing up to Gaga, just showing, yeah, I'm the daddy. I'm the number 1, the most complete fighter in the world. So yeah, brilliant fight, and that's the reason why that's my number 1.
Okay, well, this has been a fun one. So this has been this is my top 3 Scott Adkins fights. It took me ages to decide this one. I had Nick breathing down my neck all week, trying to get this list, but it was just changing all week. This is the final list I've finally settled on. I wanted to pick a top 15, but yeah, we've settled on a final 3. So after much deliberation, here is my number 3 pick, and it is the fight between Scott Adkins and Andrei Arlovsky in Universal Soldier Day of Reckoning in the sports shop. Absolutely love this fight. It starts off and he's just really overwhelmed by this absolute monster that's just come at him, and then halfway through the fight he just realises, actually, I'm pretty hard, so I'm just going to mess him up. I love the little exchange with the baseball bats, the little sound it makes and how fast it is. And then obviously he just the bit where he catches the baseball bat looks sick, and then when he just destroys his head, if you've got the right version of the movie, you can see his head explode at the end, which I thought was pretty cool. Added bonus as well, if you can get a hold of this steelbook, you can watch it all in 3D as well, which is mind-blowing.
Come on, hit me. Again. Yeah, again.
And coming in at number 2 is the bar fight scene from Ninja 2 Shadow of a Tear. This pick was a toss up between the original one-man war fight in the original Ninja, but the reason I picked this one is because as a character, Casey, this sort of signals a change in him. Like up until this point in the series, he's been sort of straight edged, sort of goody goody. But this one, he signals his transition from the Casey we knew and Casey the badass who's out for revenge. There's so many nice elements to this fight. The use of the furniture, the double kick that he does where he hitches himself off one guy's face to hit the other guy's face, thought that was brilliant. And yeah, just a really nice all-round fight. Filmed really nice, choreography spot on, just a beautiful fight. And coming in at number 1 is obviously an undisputed fight, but I've picked the end fight from Undisputed 3. 2 of the most technically gifted martial arts stars out there at the moment on show here, given complete free reign to show what they can do. Some really nice moves in this one. Boyka's the underdog in this one. Somehow they managed to get that in the story that he's the underdog with the dodgy knee. Comes out on top. Really rooting for Boyka in this one. I think it really completes his redemption. Coming into this one, I really did think it was going to be difficult to do the transition from Boyka being a bad guy to a good guy. But Undisputed 3 managed to do that really well, and it culminates with this end fight, which is just awesome.
Okay guys, that's mine and Neil's top 3 Scott Adkins best fight scenes. Give us a like and a subscribe. A little plug just for Scott Adkins' new film, which is Accident Man. It's already released in the US, but the release date for the UK is going to be on the 16th of April this year. So please make sure that you go out and support Scott Adkins, because this is one of his passion projects. I'll make a list below for you to make any purchases towards the films that we've rated on this video. Drop a comment below if there's any videos that you'd like us to do, and let us know who you think had the best top 3. Thanks guys.